Hey guys, this is going to be a new Jayber build video. Actually, it's primarily not going to be a build. This is more focused on theory crafting an offensive build on him. I have already invested all my catalysts into my primary healing build, which here's the final version of it, obviously interchanging this mod. But in terms of having an offensive build for Jayber, there isn't really much out there. I've been testing out different setups, and I think I've kind of come down to what mods ideally you'd want for an offensive Jayber build. Um, when so it comes down to this. Obviously, I don't have the stuff polarized correctly. That's primarily the reason why I'm just saying TheoryCraft. I'd really hope people go and experiment for themselves. But ideally, you'd want to use either immediate purge code or attacking compulsion as your primary offensive skills. I think immediate purge code has a lot of potential. I think the problem with it currently is the skill power scaling is not as good as it should be. I think they could definitely buff this up. As for the mods currently displayed, these ones 100% I would have. I think in the last slots I would be running increased HP, increased defense, emergency measures, and skill concentration. I think that would probably give the most damage output, not only for your immediate purge code, but also for your turret, so you could interchange between attacking compulsion and immediate purge code, and you only have to be changing those two mods. So the components that I would highly recommend using with this build would be the Annihilation set. The Annihilation set gives you the skill set duration, and then I think you just use this two-piece. I don't think any of the other two-piece sets actually help you that much, so I would focus on getting probably the Annihilation memory and the sensor, just because that gives us max HP, and we're probably going to stack more HP than defense in this build. And then for your reactor is a huge part of your damage in this build. So something like this, where you have skill critical hit damage, and then either non-dimension or non-attribute or singular skill power boost ratio is really good. So yeah, either something to do with crit or something to do with just raw power boost. This one I had on hand, so I can just use this one to showcase. So the problem with a lot of Jayber's offensive skills are their scaling is very bad with skill power. So it just seems underwhelming. So this would be the turret. It's doing 11k per hit, which is not that good. But with the other mods added in, it should scale up quite a bit and probably be critting a little bit more. So when you pop purge code, it ends up doing something like this, which actually does quite a bit of damage. When you overlap both your turrets, you're critting for 70k twice on each person, so you're hitting about 140k per tick, which is actually decent. The only problem is that immediate code purge has a small area, and if you're trying to increase area with the mods, then you're sacrificing a lot of the damage. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. So primarily just stack skill power and the duration. I think purge code has a lot of potential. I think a lot of people kind of sleep on this skill. I think it could be very good for Colossus fights if the Colossus isn't moving around too much. If you're in a 4-man group and it's kind of just sitting still, something like this Frostwalker, Swampwalker, I think those bosses that don't really move too much, it's pretty good. And because you're stacking cooldown and duration, you end up pretty much using your turrets as normal, and you just toss in your purge code whenever you have it up. So it's not too much of a center focus of the build, but it's more of like a quick burst off burst skill used in between your standard kind of gameplay loop. At the end of the day, Jayber is still focused on his primary gun as his damage, which I think is kind of unfortunate because I think there's a lot of potential that Nexon could have had with stronger turret builds. But hopefully they look at that somewhere down the line and maybe buff his base skill power scaling. Other than that, I hope people really test out trying to make more offensive builds with him. I'm currently kind of locked into my healing build. I don't want to invest more catalyst because I truly don't think the healing build is going to get beat by any of the other mods or any of the other skill builds. Yeah, and so pretty much for the future, I'm also going to be posting builds of other characters. I think probably either a Sharon or a Glay build is going to be posted next. And for future content, I'm also gonna do patch rundowns, go over the new content stuff, and hopefully that helps out a lot of people figure out what's kind of new and what people should kind of look at. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope people push Jayber's offensive capabilities more, and hopefully this brought some light on Purge Code because I think it's slept on. Thanks for watching.